Lolly Lolly says, I'm often unsure how to use emigrate and immigrate. Could you clarify that for me, Luke? I should say, could you clarify that for me, Luke? Yes, I can. And I want to add the word migrate as well, because we're talking about the same central word, right? So when people say immigration, what are they referring to? Are they referring to only people coming into your country or people leaving their country and going to another country? What are we talking about? So I like to see it as the same as an airport. When you go to the airport, you see that big board on the wall. And what does the board say? The board says arrivals and departures. Arrivals, departures. See the flights coming in and the flights going out. Okay? Now, if we imagine for a second that every person on every flight going out is going away forever to another country to live, that means all of those people on the departures flight are emigrating with an E. Okay? If we imagine for a second, every single person on every flight going out from this airport, they're leaving this country forever. They will never come back. Well, they could come back to visit family, but they're leaving forever. They're going to now live in the place that they arrive in. Okay? They are emigrating. So the departures flight, emigrating. Now we look at the other board, and we see flights coming in, the arrivals board, right? All of the people on the arrivals board coming here are going to stay. They have the intention of living here now, of making this country their home. They are immigrating. That's a simple way to understand it, right? Just imagine you're sitting at the board. You're looking at the people going out. They're emigrating. Looking at the arrivals, they're immigrating. Emigrating, immigrating. Emigrating, immigrating. Easy, right? That's it. We usually talk about immigration because that's the issue that is political. People coming into our country. We should allow more people in. We should allow less people in. Right? We need to make sure that the borders are secure, whatever it is. It's always about people coming in. So that's why we always talk about immigration. Right? And we don't often talk about emigration. We don't often talk about people leaving their own country. Now, the focus of leaving is not necessarily on where you go. It's about leaving your home country to live somewhere else. Right? It's not about travel. You're not emigrating when you travel somewhere. You're emigrating when you leave your country with the intention of becoming a resident or a citizen elsewhere. Okay? So you have emigrated. We're talking about leaving. And when we talk about immigration, we're talking about incoming, about people coming in to live. That's the focus. On which country they're coming into. Where they come from, we're not focusing on that. The immigration part is the country they're arriving in. They could be coming from Belgium. They could be coming from India, China, wherever, right? We're focusing on where they're arriving. Now, migration is just the idea of movement. Generally speaking, you could have animals migrating from one part of their territory to another. You could have groups of people moving from one to another. People migrate from one part of the country to another. People migrate to the West Coast, right? In your country, if large groups of people move for any reason, we might say just migrate, right? Now, often migration, we're talking about animals. We don't usually use migrate for people, migrants, but it was more often used in the past to talk about people, large groups of people who had a trend toward one area, right? A group of migrant workers, for example, right? We're talking about people moving from one place to another, generally speaking. Again, you'll hear this more often, for example, in nature documentaries. You'll hear, the migration season. My David Attenborough voice is not so good. In the migration season, people, you see the wildebeest, dry rain, it's a tragedy. I can't do a good Attenborough. I'm working on my David Attenborough, but that's the idea, migration. Okay? So hopefully that's clear. Lolly, great question. Very good question. If you guys have any other questions, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe or follow, and also check out my full English courses in the links in the description.